Alright. Welcome back again to yet another tutorial. So, based on where we ended last time, we just did created our sign up function. We just called our data variable so that it can be able to access our model called people, which is this one. Now we need to get the information from this form to over here, and lastly into our database over here, which is empty. Now, before we do that, we need to make sure that information actually still can go in, or we still have access to our what? To our table. For us to be able to do that, you have to first call the name of your what? Of your column. So data, which receives information for username, email, password, and other password. So it's user name is equals to, let's say, Craig. This is implicitly adding the information before we ask the form to send information. Data, which receives for email, it is going to receive information for let's say Craig, or let's just say CHC. And data, which is also going to receive for password, it is going to be, let's just say AAA. And for other password, we're just going to repeat this task but specify the column that is going to be receiving the information. But let's make it different, that we can see that all the columns are receiving the information. Now, so long information has been saved, the next key concept is you need to make sure that data, apart from being saved, from being sent, it has been saved. So you're going to use your data variable, then the save function, like that. And you can also maybe utilize what you call a redirect statement, which sends you back to the page that you were on when you finished the task. Or in fact, let's not use a data redirect, let's just use an echo statement to just say record added, since this is still implicit. Now, if everything is done and we've done everything correctly, then it means that if we are to run this page or this function, which is accessed by this route, we should be able to either send data to our form, to our table, and we get a record edit statement. If not, it means that we might have made a mistake in part of our code. So let's come back to our application over here, and then we just add the sign up statement. Alright, it says there is no supported route. So before we even try and fix out what might be an issue, there is a command that I barely mentioned, and this command actually allows your code to be able to change and understand certain things. So this command is called an optimize command. This allows your Laravel to be able to read routes when they have been changed, and so forth and so forth. So it is just still PHP artisan optimize. Now if we run it in our CMD, and it's already telling us there's a route error. So now let's go back to our route, whereby our route is here. So route post, right? Now, because the error that we're experiencing is because when we are running this page, yes, it is utilizing a post method, but because we implicitly put this data, it now means that this is no longer a post, but this is going to be a what? A get method. So that we come back to our CMD, we rerun the same route. It's giving us a pass error again on route page line 13. Oh yes, we left a semicolon. Thank you. We come back, we optimize. Perfect. After optimizing, we come back over here, we go back to our address. Awesome, our page is fine. So let's try and access the sign up function. It says record added. So if our record added, it now means that if we come in here and click browse and refresh, we get to see our data. Now that means that before we connect the form to give us the information, it means that this function is working perfectly. So we now need this information to be coming from over here. So how do we go about that? Now already we said we are going to be using a request variable to get information. So it now means that, remember we said we are going to be accessing the column and the tag name over here. So it's going to be $request. Then we specify the name of the tag that is going to give us the username, and in this case for the username it's N1, so it's going to be N1. For the email, $request, we specify the tag name. For the email it's EM1, so it's EM1, and $request again. For the first password it's P1 and PA1, so it's going to be P1, and $request for this one it's PA1, like that. Hope I wrote that correctly. Double check. Yes, PA1, P1, that's perfectly fine. Now obviously you do not want it to just echo out a statement after it's done, so you can just now use the return statement, return redirect function, and you tell it to go back to the very same page where it was on. Now other people can even add on a statement that it will say return redirect and use a statement called a with to give out an output to say that this was a statement that they want it to publish, yet we're not yet there. So it means that if we are to run our page and our form, meaning that if this form's route is perfectly working, it means the information entered all over here is going to come through our controller. From our controller it is going to go, from our controller function it is going to go in our what? In our database. Now let's test to see if that is happening for real. Whew. As always, we optimize again. After optimizing, we come back to our page, which is this one. So for username, we're going to call it ghost. For email, g@g, because remember the email parameter requires the @ symbol. Password 123, password 123. If we click login, it's supposed to send the data, but because we don't have a statement to be shown back, it is just supposed to return back this very same page. As it loads, we encounter an error. Oh yes, I know why we're encountering this error. So remember earlier on we went onto our route and we said it was now getting a method through a get. This time, because it's coming from the form, it is going to utilize a what? A post methodology. So meaning that we go back again, we optimize the route, we come back over here, we click login, tells us page not found, but if we are to refresh our data, alright, so it means that our form is not yet accessing our what? Our route. So for that to be sorted out, we go back to our text editor, we add a CSRF token inside the form, which is just add CSRF token. Now this token allows your system to run smoothly, and it allows your form to be able to submit data without having any issues whenever you submit your what? Your information. Because if you don't add it, chances are you might encounter a ton of errors inside your code. So after adding that, let's save it. We come back, let's optimize, and let's reload. Ghost G at G 1 2 3 1 2 3. Done. Now let's check our form, or let's check our database tab. If we refresh, there is our information. So you can now try this multiple times. You now know that your data is moving from your form. From your form, it is going to be moving from your form in this tag over here. It is going to come through your function called a sign up, but this function called sign up, it is utilizing a route called what? Sign up. Now take a look at the key differences. This is for route, this is for the name of the what? Function. Name of the function, name of the route. And the name of the route is what goes in your form as your URL, as you can see over here. And after doing that, it now means that this route is going to be utilized by this function to grab data and send it over here, and then this data is going to be saved in our database. Now let's just run it one more time, add new content. So let's say ink, it's I at I, or I at O, whatever, password that, password that. Mind you, I did not validate any information, meaning that this code, or meaning that these passwords are not the same, or they're not going to be checked if they're the same or not. We click login, sends us back on the very same page because of the return redirect. We come back, check our database, browse, there is our information. Thank you so much. Let's meet again on the 4th or on the 5th tutorial for this lesson, and have a good time.